Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show.
The Rise Up Morning Show.
Today is October 30th, All Hallows Eve. My name is AleXRP. I'm joined by a pirate I found and his business partner, the guy who handles all his legal contracts. It's the Halloween special of the Rise Up Morning Show. So wherever you are, wherever you listen, be sure to tune into YouTube and get a little snapshot. Let us know what you are doing for Halloween. Are you dressing up? If so, what? And are your kids going out? Are they doing the 6-7 costume? Or are you just hanging out inside, eating candy and trying to forget about it? Let us know. Either way, we're glad you're here. And we'll be happy to answer your crypto questions. That's what we do here on the Rise Up Morning Show. Alex, Will, happy Hallows Eve. How are you?
Good. We were talking backstage how it's ironic that I'm not in a costume today and you guys are.
But it is ironic.
Didn't
Will, a man of many costumes.
Didn't even cross my mind. I have almost 20 costumes, and it didn't cross my mind. I've been too busy. Been flying to Atlanta. Sorry.
How was Atlanta?
Let me just take a sip out of this delicious and amazing custom-made Arrrrculus espresso. Hardware wallet of the Rise Up Morning Show.
The product placement is placing.
Product placement. What are you talking about? That wasn't product placement at all. No, I'm good. I'm just tired and have a lot to do. Slamming a whole lot of things in before a 2-week-long vacation. For those of you who are not American, you're probably confused as to what that means. Why are you slamming in a whole bunch of things before a 2-week vacation? Well, because 2-week vacations aren't a thing in America. It's usually called unemployment. And
well, 2 weeks would be your cumulative vacation for the entire year.
Yeah.
Spread out.
If you're lucky.
You know, I've never taken a 2-week-long vacation. I almost never take PTO ever. And so I'm going to Japan for 2 weeks, and I just have a lot of stuff that needs to get done. It's all slammed in 1 week. Had to fly to Atlanta, and now I'm here, and I'm tired, and I'm working, and I got all this stuff to do. But I am good. It is all good stuff, and I'm excited to be here today, guys.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ahoy there, matey. How be ye?
Dude, I can't complain.
Dread Pirate Roberts, man.
I'm in full linen. I don't know if you guys have ever worn linen, but God, it's nice.
It's nice.
I'm
So
a big
love
fan of linen.
And the
Big fan.
wind just goes right through it.
And it comes in black. So,
Oh.
Yeah.
you know, bullish.
I
know,
am a big
good.
fan of this.
I said bearish yesterday about something. I was like, oh, bearish on that. And Violet was like, bearish. And I was like, oh, God damn it, Alex. I was like, God damn it, Alex. It's permeating into my daily vocabulary.
Perfectly encapsulates your feeling in that moment. And if you were bearish on it for whatever reason, it's the perfect word. I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
It is the perfect word. And if you've got the perfect word, if you've got the perfect question, then let us know. I see one rolling in already. Wet Blanket, great username, wants to know, are you guys good still with DeFi Carrot, especially with the downturned market? I have to move some of the USDC we have received into a Carrot fund. We were talking about putting it there on behalf of the company personally. And I just keep forgetting to do. There's a million. I'm like, Will, I got a million things to do over here. But you guys, you think it's fine? You have a problem with it? Wet Blanket, are you beefing with it? You got beef with Carrot?
Never had a single issue.
It's not like it's a speculative asset. It's not like it's
Easy
something
peasy.
that goes up and down with the market. What's the APY at right now? I'm curious.
Yeah, let's
Right
get
now,
a APY report.
well, fortunately for you guys, Bearded comes in every morning with
Sure
a
does.
report on the Carrot, and it's 8.11 right now, which is great, and it says a lot that for Carrot, that's kind of low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of low, but it's pretty dope. So yeah,
Eat your veggies.
still pretty good with 8%.
Hell yeah.
I really want us to have like a roster of DeFi farm sponsors so that we can have like an update from the farm. And it can be like, well, the Carrot is at 9% today and long beef is at whatever. And DeFi tuna, you know what I mean? Like that's it. If you want to succeed in DeFi, just name your protocol after an animal. Llamas are taken. Tunas are taken.
Cows.
Or food. Burger swap, tendy swap, pancake swap. I mean,
Cow
Food
Dow.
options. Cow Dow.
Cow Dow, that's right.
There's so many food and vegetable specific options. I don't know what's up with that. Animals, vegetables.
That was
It's-
do you remember the food meme? The food meme craze? It was such
yeah.
like a simple and innocent time.
The food meme craze?
Yeah, you know, when like the trendy things in memes weren't like racial slurs, it was food.
I don't
Because
remember the food ones.
We were sweet and young and innocent at that time.
I would say it really started with
food-
Pancake Swap.
I remember
Yes.
food and DeFi.
Yeah, Pancake Swap is where it started, and then it just spun out from there. Everything had a piece, had a tendy, had a burger, had a fry, had a you name it.
Yeah. Then we had a quick little sprint of racial slurs here this year.
It was racist.
Luckily it was just a quick sprint.
So
We seem to have cycles though, where we
Embarrassing.
come back to racism. It's quite embarrassing.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why we had to like, you know what? We just have like such good PR as an industry that why not we just make it worse?
Well, it was because we got into the political memes, and then political memes get into racism pretty quickly. Oh gosh. Anyway.
Well, I know you only have a little bit of time today, so one of the things I wanted to get your take on was the answer to some of last night's questions about the state of the market, especially before we go into the weekend. Alex and I had to break the news about rate cuts ourselves, and so how'd we do?
Yeah.
We reported it accurately, but briefly. We talked about it, and then that was about it. So I would love for you to prepare a little market update, and I want to quickly on the way there say, you guys want to let the cat out of the bag? Are we waiting to talk? We teased last night that we've got 2 additional sponsors coming onto the stable, because right now the Rise Up morning show is currently powered by Arrrrculus, Polygon, and the White Whale. And soon we're going to announce 2 more partners. Are we holding it in the bag? Or are we letting some cat out today?
We're holding it for right now.
Okay. You just got to wait. And in the meantime, if you want to hear about it first, or you want to talk about it more closely, the place to be, of course, is community.rumshq.com. We'd love to see you there. The only thing missing is you. Will, update me.
Well, it went up and down, and yeah, that was it. No, so Jerome
Exactly
Powell-
what we said.
exactly what you guys said. Oh, you guys don't need me. Amazing. I've done my job. Anyway, I still own partial ownership of this company. Good luck, boys. Get out there and make something out of it. So Jerome Powell had a speech, and we had a 25 basis point rate cut, which is your standard small rate cut that everyone was expecting. So check mark there. Hey, that's good. And then Jerome Powell came out and said on December 1st, and this is the biggest thing that Jerome Powell said, on December 1st, the Fed will no longer be allowing their balance sheet to reduce. And let me pull that up. Fed. Sorry for folks in podcast land with my very, very clicky keyboard. Let me pull up just to show everyone the balance sheet of the Fed. This is, the Fed will go out, and when they want to stimulate the economy, they'll go out and they'll buy bonds from the government. They'll go out and they'll buy mortgage-backed securities. And this is the biggest influx of cash that the Fed can do into the market to provide relief. This is called quantitative easing. It is when the Fed wants to stimulate the economy and put money directly into the market. So it will go and it will buy bonds and buy mortgage-backed securities, which is the Fed taking money and putting it into the market. And this is the most bullish thing the Fed could do. So the Fed isn't doing that just yet, but they're doing the next best thing. They're shifting gears. And that gear shift is from allowing their balance sheet to reduce, which has been happening since 2022, because they had to after COVID, and inflation was a problem. So they had to constrict the market a little bit, hike rates. That's what they were doing as well. And so the Fed wasn't selling bonds and mortgage-backed securities. They were just allowing those bonds to come to maturity and be released into the market, if you will. And they announced that on December 1st, the Fed will no longer be allowing their balance sheet to reduce. So this downwards path, this constrictive monetary policy will be done after this month. That's a really cool thing, because that just means that there's probably a few months after that until the Fed starts buying bonds and mortgage-backed securities. And that's the most bullish possible thing the Fed could possibly do to stimulate the economy and to make asset prices go upwards. Now, as Jerome Powell was talking, the markets went down. And that was because Jerome Powell said, when asked, hey, are we getting rate cuts in December? And Jerome Powell said, stop asking me that. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do next month because we don't know what we're going to do next month. We have to talk about it and all that kind of stuff. And the Fed, the board that votes and makes decisions, one person said, I want a 50 basis point cut. Another person said, I don't want any rate cut right now. So the Fed was more divided now than it has been. Jerome Powell was like, I don't know, man, we're going to take a look at the data. But then they were like, but you don't have data. And he's like, yeah, we're not going to have government data. So we're going to have to just use our previous models, which shows weakening labor and inflation is pretty okay. And we'll take a look at some data that we can look at when we can in November, leading up to that December decision. And so because there is some ambiguity around what data is going to be available to the Fed, there's a little bit of uncertainty as to whether or not the Fed will cut rates in December. And so as a result, the market sold off a little bit. And that's why that happened.
Okay. And in terms of how much of a cause for concern you think it is, because I'm hearing you explain it, communicate it pretty calmly, it sounds like there's really not much cause for concern.
I don't see really any cause for concern because the Fed was like, hey, inflation, it is being affected by tariffs, but like we don't really see it being affected by tariffs that much. And we see the labor market getting worse. And so our biggest concern is the labor market. Henceforth, therefore, read through the very obvious tea leaves, we're cutting rates unless something crazy were to come out. So no, I mean, rate cuts are still at like a 64% chance of happening in December. And you have a whole bunch of layoffs happening that were publicly announced just the other day.
So many.
Now in the end of the year. And there wasn't a single one of my customers. Actually, no, it's not true. I can't say who they are. But there are a lot of my customers, personally, I'm a supply chain consultant, who are not on that list, who are also firing 6,000 or 8,000 or 2,000 more people between now and the end of December. So you're going to have a ton of layoffs happening between now and New Year's. And that's just the way it's going to go. And so, yeah, the labor market's going to get worse. And you're going to see the Fed have to cut rates again. And that's just what's going to happen. So, no, I'm not concerned at all.
Yeah, for folks who didn't get the numbers, maybe because you don't work downstream of them or you're focused on other things right now, the numbers from Silicon Valley and some of the leading tech companies especially, but everywhere in major public companies are, I think Amazon announced the largest planned layoff in history. Don't fact check me, fact check yourself, brother. Between 30 and 35,000 jobs before the end of the year. Meta laid off like 600 people immediately, and they're planning to lay off another couple thousand. So it's trickling throughout the economy. And Papa Aztec said, I feel smarter after listening to Will. We all do.
Correct.
We also had Jessica in the comments. Hey, Jessica, good to see you. Who said, hey, I thought this was the Halloween special today. So thanks to my friend Bearded, I'm clarifying that these are in fact costumes. I am AleXRP. Al, who are you?
I'm a pirate.
The Dread Pirate Roberts. And Will has enough costumes that he doesn't need to show up in them. You know they're
I
there.
am a man
You see them.
who was a boy.
Or is he a Muppet?
I don't know. It could be both.
Am I a man? What are we looking at here?
Ford's losing 11,000. UPS. Damn, I forgot UPS is laying off 48,000 employees.
And this is a screen share for folks in podcast land. Just by the numbers. Will you read a couple of those for us, Will, and give us the source?
So the source is the Kobisi letter. If you guys aren't on Twitter or X, you won't know who they are. If you are and you don't know who they are, you should go follow them. They're great for macroeconomic news and updates and stuff. The Kobisi letter, KOBEISSI. I'll show you guys here on the TikTok. But yeah, I mean, I'll read out these numbers. I mean, recent layoff announcements: UPS 48,000, Amazon up to 30,000. Intel 24K, Nestle 16K, Accenture 11,000, Ford 11,000, Novo Nordisk 9,000, Microsoft 7,000, PwC 5,600, Salesforce 4,000. Actually, it's funny. sale. Actually, it's not too funny, but Salesforce is on this major AI kick, and their CEO has mentioned that 60% of the code in Salesforce is now written entirely by AI. He's like, yeah, we're gonna get that bad boy up to like 90% or so, and then that'll be great. And then we're gonna automate as many jobs as we possibly can, and eventually my job will be automated. And he said this in an interview, and then they were like, well, aren't you worried about you not having work? And he's like, I'm so rich. He's like, that's not what he said, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
So he's like, my job will be the last to be automated. And I'm just like, oh God, I hate you. But yeah, so anyway, that's that. So you have a lot of layoffs coming.
Did you guys see the piece of news that came out about Deloitte, the consulting firm, having this report? They did this gig with the Australian government, and after they presented their findings, as consultants often do, the government went back and they were looking through the report, and they were like checking the sources, because they source their stuff like an academic paper, and they were like, wait a second, this is wrong, this source is wrong, this source doesn't even exist. And it turns out that they had written the report with AI and not reviewed the sources. It hallucinated a bunch of sources and got like a majority of numbers, facts, and figures wrong. So they issued an apology. They refunded like almost $300,000 that the contract had been paid for. And then they submitted a second report, which also had a bunch of AI errors and facts. So can you imagine the guy at Deloitte who was like, hey, GPT, and then later took the report back and was like, no, you did this wrong. I need you to correct your errors and send it to me again. And then was like, here you go.
We just have to be collectively as a species now faster than ever hemorrhaging intelligence quotient.
Oh, dude. It's
Like,
bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, like we're all well on the path to that future in Wall-E. We're just all in those chairs that just push us along our day.
It's painful.
Yeah.
Painful.
Yeah. Oh well, enjoy it while it lasts, guys. The end of an empire is the most comfortable, and by empire I mean just like the overall productivity of humans being humans, not necessarily talking about just the United States. So enjoy it. It's comfortable. You have your slippers. We have our Netflix shows. It's great.
It is great. Hot running water whenever you want it.
Yeah.
But, it's
Uber Eats right to your door.
oh my gosh. The question comes, do you guys think about Ton? Let us know if you mean the token or the network. We famously gave our thorough first look to it on Rise Up After Dark the day before the CEO was arrested, and the price took a turn for the worst after it had rallied upwards, and we had all said, this looks great. My opinion hasn't changed. I think it still looks great. I'm bullish on distribution, liquidity, real actual revenue, things like that. And Telegram, building a crypto solution, it's got all the ingredients for success, in my opinion. Do you guys have an evolved opinion on Ton? I haven't heard much about it since then.
I have a very westernized opinion of Telegram and Ton, which is just that I don't use Telegram. So why does it matter? Is my initial always kickback reaction. I'm like, no, so many people use Telegram and love it, particularly in the East. And if you have a network that can tap into that, I mean, you just have so many potential users right there, just right out the gate. So, I still like Ton. It's just that I'll never interact with it properly. Like the crypto industry, our Telegram is massive. And it's only going to get bigger because crypto loves using Telegram. And I just personally hate it. And so it's hard for me to be like, at one side, I'm just, there's the initial kickback reaction of I hate Telegram. And so who would want to use Telegram? Oh, just a casual multiple millions of people. So I love that. I love the ability to onboard. I haven't been close to the ecosystem of Ton, but I know that they've still been building and all that. So, it's probably still in a pretty damn good spot. It's just not going to get the Western audience's attention.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the other thing is, there are so many solutions that for now remain isolated regionally that are becoming more global. I don't know if you guys have noticed this as much as I feel like I have. There's this sort of globalization creep that I was not paying attention to until I stopped and thought about it. I mean, K-pop is a good example of this. It used to be if you were an influencer in music, you went to Los Angeles. Then you had the option to go to New York. Then you had the option to go to Nashville. And now you got the option really to be pretty much anywhere in the world. There are major cities. K-pop is an example of this phenomenon. The same thing is like, you know, Amazon. Kids everywhere can wear jeans from the Gap because it's pretty easy for us all to watch the same content, get the same stuff because we're connected by the internet. And I just don't think I realized how quickly that has become the standard. And I expect that we're going to see more stuff like that, like Telegram, which is not a big thing for us, becoming a bigger thing for us because we do more interacting with people who use it all the time, kind of thing.
My thought process is just like, if it's big in Asia, it'll become big in the West. And that's just the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
Because the East is becoming like the cultural tech hub, slowly and humanized, but quickly. You know, particularly Korea right now from like a cultural standpoint. You see, I mean, it's amazingly telling that the most popular Netflix series ever or movie ever was the K-pop Demon Hunters, which I still haven't watched. But anything that is K-pop related, the numbers are amazing. And if there's one thing you can believe about society is that it will direct itself towards wherever the most money can potentially be made. And right now that's things coming out of the East.
I mean, Squid Game's crushed too. That
Squid
was also
Game's
Korean.
crushed too. And you've been seeing that creep of specifically Korean cultural output really garnering the most attention.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Parasite very
Yep.
quickly made it onto the top 100 movies of all time list. Well deserved. That movie was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought about it.
You know, the conversation that brought me to it was somebody was talking about, we were watching The Walking Dead. Don't spoil the show for me, by the way, because I'm actively watching it for the first time, where some
Godspeed, my
character
friend.
asks another character who it's like a white guy asks an Asian fellow, he says, where's your family from? And what he means is like, what race are you? What country of origin are you from? And it was just interesting to me because I realized like, oh, we're probably going to be like one of the last generations that does that, because, you know, if you see an Asian guy, he could open his mouth and have a dialect like this, or, you know, he could, you know what I mean? Like he could sound like this, whatever, you know what I mean? Like people don't based on how they look because we've traveled enough. Kids today probably don't look at somebody who's black or white or whatever and assume that they know much about where they or their family are from because we've homogenized in that way. Shout out.
I don't know about that.
It's going to take a hot minute.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take a little bit longer than that.
I think future generations are very much going to do that. I also think we're going to shift our prejudices to things like robots.
Future generations.
Yeah, in the future. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll all be
There's
racist.
still plenty of hate.
I
for
can't
your
wait to
fellow
be
man.
like, I don't want those robots in our schools. It's gonna be great.
I can't wait for it either.
I can't wait. Great.
Quick shout out to Bearded in our comments and all the listeners around the world who tune in to the Rise Up Morning Show. Bienvenido, gracias y obrigado, and thank you for being the very best part of what we do. If you are somebody who has a hard time hearing the show and you listen later on YouTube or somewhere else to get captions, Bearded has a great tip saying that if you want them in real time, you can listen on Facebook. That is the Rise Up Morning Show on Facebook. Shout out to our friends who already listen there. If you are somebody who would like closed captions live, then Facebook is the place you got to go. Alex, I see you having a little exchange in the comments. Do we have some good thoughts or questions there?
With regards to my particular exchange, no, not a single good thought.
Really?
At all. Yeah. No, it's just we're good.
So
No good thoughts worth sharing.
No, you don't want that. You don't want that.
You don't want that period smoke.
Did you guys talk about all the altcoin ETF products that came out in the past like 36 hours?
So
did a
we
little bit.
talked about the Sol ETFs mostly, but you want to update the morning show audience on all the others? We've got a lot of altcoin ETFs. Don't we?
Yeah, let's see. Wait, there's Hedera. There's, oh my gosh, the Solana one. What else am I forgetting? Litecoin. Litecoin as well.
Litecoin,
It got announced by Canary Capital. Oddly enough, it was a Canary Capital announcement, and Canary Capital used Pudgy Penguins to make the announcement about their Litecoin ETF, which was interesting. They used a Pudgy Penguins animation of like a Pudgy Penguins like running around, and like the world turned into like a silver Litecoin thing. People were like, "Is there Pengu in this?" And they're like, "No, they're just using Pudgy Penguins branding." But also, someone else used Pudgy Penguins animations to announce their ETF listing as well, and it had nothing to do with Pengu or Pudgy Penguins. So it's just interesting that like that is becoming like the crypto mascot for ETF announcements. It's kind of interesting.
Pudgy Penguins. Can't wait to have you on the show, Luca. We're working it out, and he's going to be back sometime in November. So stay tuned. We'll have an updated date for you. Will, I know that you've got to ride your dog and pony off into the sunset here in just a couple of minutes. So if there is something else that you want to explore before you go, then let me know. I want to say also, if we get out of here a little bit early, then we can do an after show. But I actually have to leave generally the after show a little bit early today too, because I have got to go teach a class, and then I'm rushing back here to host a panel for our friends at Octant. If you need some viewing later in the afternoon and you want to get some good primary sources from the inside of our industry, then you should check out Octant app on X all day today. They are having a DeFi summit. You can RSVP in the post that I'm going to share in the description for this episode, or you can head on over to X right now. You can search Octant app. They'll have a post about it there. The panel I'm hosting is stacked. We've got Sandeep from Polygon. We've got Andre from LiFi, and we've got Arjun. And Arjun, this is my last minute panel. Arjun is a new to me layer zero. It sounds familiar. I have seen it before, but I don't really know much about what they do in the DeFi space. And the panel is about interoperability and liquidity. So I'm looking forward to it. I would love to see some of you there. Will, what are you thinking you want to get into before riding these dogs and ponies out of here?
Yeah, so let's take a look at the Bitcoin liquidity heat map here together as a group, because it is interesting. Okay. If you have been watching my TikToks, or you're on Instagram or on the Twitter or X, you may have seen that the liquidity heat map for Bitcoin over on Binance has really, really changed on like very long-term timeframes. So we're looking at the 6-month liquidity heat map here, and this area in the bottom has depopulated to the tune of like $12 billion has been removed in terms of a financial incentive to really drive the market lower. This used to be bright yellow. It's almost gone at this point. So the financial incentive to drive the market lower below $100,000 has pretty much been removed from the market, which is really interesting. If we do take a look at, if we zoom in on this, we go from 6 months to 1 month. You can see that there is a bigger financial incentive in the market to drive us actually a little bit lower. The biggest payday for Binance in this case is at $106,000 down to, just about $104,000. So do be aware of that. But then after this bright area gets eaten up, let's just zoom out a little bit more so you can get a better picture. So I'll go from the 1 month time frame to the 3 month. You can see this payday gets eaten up. And if you remember the 6 month chart, there's like nothing below that. The next biggest payday is higher. So I'm actually kind of hoping that we just go down and grab this liquidity so Binance can get its little manipulative payday. And, then we get a trade deal announcement between the United States and China that can send things back up, and then allow Binance to get their next manipulative payday, which the next biggest one is actually, up back at $126,000. So this map has been ever changing, and I'm going to switch from Model 1 to Model 2 real quick. So right now we've been looking at high leveraged positions, and I actually haven't looked at Model 2 in a second. I know it shows a little bit more of a even picture. So let's zoom out. So now what we're looking at is Binance, all leveraged positions across all leveraged sizes. So anything from 1x to 100x. We can see that the financial incentive in the market is still to go lower when we look at this. This liquidation heat map hasn't really changed that much. So there is more bearish pressure still when we look at all leverage positions. So let's go to the 3 month. Yeah, that's really correlated around $90,000. Let's take a look at the 1 month and see if we have any alignment here. No, yeah, that's 90,000. 90,000 is the hotspot for all leverage size positions that could possibly be liquidated over on Binance. So there still is a downward pressure here. But it is interesting that the 10x and higher leveraged positions have been basically entirely removed from. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted by that Discord sound that went off. But anyway, that's it. So there is still bearish pressure, but it's not nearly as much as it was before. However, there still is a pretty bright payday here for Binance sitting at $90,000. And if I come over to Bitcoin's chart real quick and I pull up the weekly time frame, we are in a dangerous position again, unless we can get bought up over the next, like 48 hours or so, of breaking the 21-week exponential moving average. And the next most obvious place where we would fall to catch us would be right here as early as about $98,000, maybe even see like a wick down. Now, I think that only happens if there is no trade deal announcement between the United States and China, which totally could happen. So we'll see. But if that does happen, we would finally be oversold on the weekly chart stochastic RSI. Binance can get its payday. All the payday opportunities there for Binance are closed. And I'm going to stop sharing, Evan.
Thank you.
And then the market would be free and clear to start recovering in like a actual long-lasting, kind of way. But if we dip down because there's no trade deal between China and the United States and the tariffs go live on November 1st, then you're probably looking at a mostly bearish November, and then maybe things start taking a turn upwards in December or January.
We did get the big boon, the soybean buy.
Yeah, the soybean buying was nice to see. So that's a good sign of China preemptively bought like 180,000 tons of soybeans before President Xi and Trump meet in Beijing, which is a good sign that they will come to some level of terms. If not terms on a trade deal, then a delay on the tariffs and then something.
And that meeting is happening today. So stay tuned. News will be coming, and the tweets, they may have the power to move the market. Will, can you quickly tell us what that heat map is like website-wise for people who don't know?
Yes.
And then give us a final thought, a last joke, word of wisdom, or a scary story for Halloween.
Scary story is your portfolio's red. Ha! Sorry, too real. But yeah, so that website is called CoinGlass. Just go into Google and type in CoinGlass Bitcoin liquidation heat map. Or if you just type in CoinGlass Bitcoin heat map, you'll be able to find that. And then there's all those toggles you can go play with. If you have any questions on it and you're confused, go to your ChatGPT or your Claude or whatever and just say, hey, explain to me these settings. And then it'll just explain it to you. Model 1 shows high leverage. Model 2 shows all leverage. Pair shows just Binance. Symbol shows all exchanges. My personal opinion is just look at pair because Binance is the biggest exchange out there. So the biggest potential manipulator. Potential.
Allegedly.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, and that's that. Final thoughts. I don't know. Happy Halloween. Hope you guys have a great time dressing up. For those who dress up, if you have kids, then enjoy the trick-or-treating and don't let them eat all the candy in one night.
We hope you do too, Will. We hope you have a safe trip to Japan. We hope you enjoy some costumery, some culture, and that you take lots of pictures and share it all with us. So, my friends, if you want to catch Will, he'll be in the community, but he'll be up in the air. He'll be busy. I know we'll see you soon.
And I will say that while I will be in Japan, I will still be posting videos. So it just won't be to the same extent that I post. But I'll still do Bitcoin updates. If you're on TikTok, you're going to get them at weird times because I'll be 12 hours ahead of what I currently am. So,
Got a pressing, urgent question before you go from Moist Mike. He says, sorry for the caps, but how long is the flight time for Japan?
It's a little bit over 16 hours. So Boston to Seattle to Tokyo. I mean, it's not the longest flight I've done. The longest flight I've done is 26 hours.
Damn.
So that was to get to Bali because Boston to Dubai is about 18 hours, 16 hours. And then Dubai to Bali, I think was 11, or was it 8? Whatever that math, I think it was 8. Yeah, so that was a long flight. This flight, I mean, I've flown to China before. So, I mean, like, this flight honestly really isn't that bad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think the Argentina flight is about 16 hours, which surprised me. I didn't feel like it was this far.
It's down there. Argentina's down there. I mean, you know. But anyway, I'm going to head off, guys. So everyone, enjoy your weekends, your Halloweens. And I won't see any of you live for 2 weeks. So hugs and kisses. Love you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Watson.
Oh, I almost clicked end stream.
That was very spooky indeed.
It would have been spooky. Bye.
He makes the complex clear. He's your friend and mine. And we've got a couple minutes left here before we really ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset, out of the woods, and perhaps into
The pit of despair.
or somewhere else. So let us know what your Halloween plans are. I'm AleXRP. He's the Dread Pirate Roberts, living that island lifestyle, or maybe that's just Alex's new wardrobe these days.
This is just it now. Yeah. This is just it.
Honestly, dude, I
am a big fan of this.
like it. Linen, it's the move. So we had a request to do an update on XRP. Someone said, what do you think about it? Should I buy it? And I don't know about you, but I've been seeing a lot of those questions lately. In fact, I've been seeing a lot of those questions in our comments on Facebook. Shout out to everybody on Facebook again, because Facebook is now our fastest growing platform. So if you're new to our content, we have talked about this a lot, and we really appreciate that you trust us to help you. But I want to say, if you don't get your question answered on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you are, whenever you listen, that really the place you got to go is the community. I'm talking about community.rumshq.com. It is a 24/7 rise up fiesta, fandango. Some might say it's a fiasco, but you know, we have a really good time.
This is a gross misrepresentation of the
And
facts.
it's the place where Alex and Will and I and all of our friends are there to help you learn, grow. We say rise up together. Would love to see you there. Totally free to join. The only thing missing is you. You want to give it a take, Alex? I'm new to crypto.
I have to.
I'm watching XRP everywhere on social media. I'm hearing about Ripple constantly, mostly in the context that it's going to be the new plumbing for the financial system and that it's happening imminently. Or something like that. You know, I'm hearing mixed things and I really just don't know what to believe. And I'm new to crypto, so I want to know, Alex, should I buy it?
If you want to, man. Look, nothing has changed about it in years. Someone said yesterday that you know, none of this bad news means anything because in 5 years it's going to be taking over everything. And I said, yep. Told that to me 5 years ago. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I'm very tired by it. I say the same thing every single time it comes up, right? And I give it its laurels. They have a killer brand. If you can take anything away from this Solana Western Union thing, it should be that it's quite literally impossible to come up with bad news for XRP because everything is just an attempt by the big elites to shake you out of your bags. And eventually everyone's going to be a billionaire. So, yeah, honestly, that's pretty bullish, right? That it's quite literally impossible to convince anybody who's a diehard that like anything bad could ever happen. You literally can't give bad news about XRP because it just gets twisted into somehow being good news. So that's good for you. That supports your bags way more than any real use case or utility or anything that actually matters.
I have two things on that. One of them is I just want to say for anybody who is new, who hears Alex's like, you know, tired, haggard tone, you know, that's kind of a loaded answer when you say it that way, just because how you say something, you know, it communicates a lot. And I am a new listener and I'm just hearing that for the first time and I'm thinking, okay, people are either really passionate about it or they're really like tired of it in that way. And I'm just trying to figure out, is it legit? And what I would say is like, yeah, it's legit in the sense that it's not a scam, but somebody like Alex is so tired when he talks about it in a way that, you know, you don't have an emotional impression of it because it really has been like a long time. And there is a lot of misinformation that particularly targets the community of people called the XRP army that has grown up around this token and like defends it with a fervor. Imagine Alex's tone and then the opposite. So it's exhausting. If you want to buy it, you absolutely can make money on it. I know people that are holding it for the long term who've been buying it since it was 50 cents and are very pleased. I know people who buy it when the price is relatively low, because if you look at the chart, it kind of looks like it has what I would call an appropriate valuation, where in times of consolidation, it tends to be like below $1. And then when everybody's excited about crypto, it spikes up. And we're in one of those moments right now where it has spiked up and kind of resettled. So I personally am not buying it. I think if it really was something that the broad crypto community believed was going to be like the financial system of the future, that everybody would unilaterally be selling their house to go buy XRP. But they're not. The only asset that I personally know that people have the conviction across the board mostly to do that with, there are some people who are naysayers about it, is Bitcoin. That's because even people who don't use crypto see it as a sort of digital land, a store of value. A lot of what XRP promises to do hasn't been done by them yet. Might be done by them, but is also being done by other people. And
Doesn't
that's
have to be done by them.
That's right. It doesn't have to be. That is a misleading part of the XRP narrative, right, Alex? XRP is the only thing that can handle this cross-border payments or whatever. But I mean, we could probably go back and forth and name companies that already do that.
I have to say, I did see one like epiphany video yesterday, which I thought was kind of funny, where it was just like the realization that, hey, spoiler alert, literally every crypto can be used to transfer money internationally. That's kind of the point of the entire thing. Nothing at all says that there has to be one. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not like if you're new trying to figure the whole thing out, I totally get it. And it's not a bad question. It's not a dumb question. But honestly, truly, like, it is the only question. And I'm just tired. I'm tired about it because it just doesn't, I mean, whatever, man. I don't know.
Also, Alex, what do you think about this claim I'm seeing around? I think I saw it in the comments about the Seoul Western Union news. I'm seeing a lot of people who are salty about that, calling that a bribe. Have you seen that? Do you have a take on that?
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, I guess my take would be that I don't know who exchanged money with who behind the scenes of what. Is it possible? Sure. I thought it was kind of surprising, to be very honest with you.
The claim, or that it might happen?
The partnership in general. Like, yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like, I get it, if Western Union is afraid because blockchains completely eradicate their need to exist, then it makes sense to try to, do something there. They seem like a perfect candidate to have some sort of like permissioned thing. But literally the only thing that they could do to change their position in this whole, like inevitable takeover of something blockchain or DeFi related is quite literally to slash their profit margins. And I just don't see that happening. So I don't know. It's really hard to like take it seriously or care. I think that in a couple weeks, no one's going to care about this anymore. The same way that no one cares anymore about Consensus and Linnea and Swift. It's a great grabby headline that's going to get some attention for a little bit, and then it's going to fade into obscurity and no one's going to care.
Well, and that's kind of the,
as far as the bribe allegation goes, I don't know. I've seen some stuff. I've seen plenty of misinformation about it too, like in support of Solana, like fake statements written by non-existent business people saying that someone from Western Union literally said, quote, "We chose it over XRP because it's faster, more secure, and more efficient." And it's just like, yeah, okay, I'll take things that never happened for 500, Alex. So there's plenty of that. I don't know. There's misinformation on both sides. I don't know. I really don't have a good read on it because it's very hard to tell who's ever telling the truth with this stuff.
The thing that I think about is the flywheel of, I have a token, people buy my token, that gives me money to spend on getting more money. Like, the token introduces this interesting velocity to money that allows these crypto companies to effectively do like an infinite money glitch. And if I'm somebody like Solana, it is in my interest, one, to incentivize people to partner with me to add value to my token. And it is also in my interest to talk about it. Okay. The XRP, the ETH, the Sol, the ETH community was really upset at Vitalik because for a long time, Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, wasn't doing, they felt, enough to talk about why the token was worth buying in a way that made its price go up. They felt like everybody was doing that for XRP, everybody was doing it for all the other tokens. And our friend of the show, Mark Boyrin, the CEO of Polygon Labs, actually was responding to some FUD where somebody was saying, oh, leave Solana alone. Polygon does this shit all the time, meaning pays for people to build in their ecosystem. But he had a really elegant response about, like, first of all, we've got real teams, real users, real stuff happening. But second of all, he said, Web3 sometimes feels incredibly unsophisticated. Incentives for developers or users, meaning like, grants or support, they are not bad. He said these incentives, they're bad in other people's minds. GCP, AWS, etc., all give incentives for developers to use their infrastructure. This is normal. Most companies pay to kickstart their ecosystem. If someone tries to tell you they don't, you should be skeptical. And that's just a startup thing. Wouldn't you do it, Alex? If you had a token that people were buying and it was a network coin whose value depended on people believing your network had stuff happening there, like a city with stuff to do. I mean, the city promotes tourism because they want people to come here and spend money here.
Look, it's really simple. And I'm on the record saying this for years. And this was the biggest thing that I complained about and yelled at what was Elrond, now Multiverse X, which is non-existent, basically. They were like the one blockchain that didn't do any part of this. And I always thought this was the single stupidest thing ever. You're building a network. You have to incentivize people to come there and put things there. And then you also have to help those people who are putting things there communicate to all of the people who might want to use that thing that it's been put there. And if you don't do those two things, nothing you do matters.
Yeah.
One of the reasons Polkadot is so non-existent in the zeitgeist culturally is because they exclusively incentivize people to put things there, and then no one in that company or that structure or that ecosystem has ever once tried to go tell someone else that it exists. There is no, and I truly don't know what they spent all that money on, because I've never once seen a piece of Polkadot marketing that wasn't the overlay on some streamer who barely talked about its screen. So maybe they just way overpaid for all of those mentions. I'm sure they overpaid. Well, actually, no, I'm not sure. I guarantee they overpaid. We can all tell they overpaid for that, but that's it. That's it. You build a network, incentivize builders to come put things there, and then tell them to help them fucking tell people that they're building it there. If you don't market, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, the press releases are like it's like swinging a bat at a very small ball that has the chance to go far. Solana, it's in their interest to publish a press release about every single partnership, because they don't know which one is going to make the DJ and say, oh shit, we got to buy, we're going to the moon. And that is good for them. It's good for them. Shout out to Bearded, who's got a correction for us, talking about Western Union CEO, not a correction, a confirmation, that Devin McGranahan did explicitly address the choice of Solana over XRP in his recent interviews and public statements, emphasizing the importance of speed, efficiency, and stability for their use case, which he said Solana better addresses than XRP for their large-scale settlement infrastructure needs. Is that a true claim? I don't know, but it's what he said. And if we can verify it, I trust Bearded farther than I could probably throw him. And
if that's something that I can watch. I saw it posted by some just Solana shill page, and immediately discounted it as false. And then the quote was nonsense. And I was like, I can't even fathom a CEO talking like that. So I think they probably took whatever he said and then, bull posted some all caps headline that was nonsense.
Sure. Yeah. Or maybe all his ums and ahs. You know how people talk in live interviews. If you tried to clip a quote from me in the show and put it in text, it would be like, the hell is this guy saying?
Yeah.
Also, again, that doesn't mean the price of Solana is going to go up. As Jay Heat pointed out in the comments, why don't they just use USDC? They are using the network, most likely to build their own token. And then they'll do it on another network and another network and another network. They don't want to keep it on Solana. They want it to be everywhere.
Yeah, although
Just
they
like
did say exclusively.
Well,
So we'll see how much.
I think
that
that's
matters.
subject to change. I
Oh,
bet
of course.
I'd bet my AleXRP tokens that's going to change.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, Base said they're not doing a token absolutely ever, and now they're well. I'd like to make more money.
Can't believe it. Alex, what do you say that as our final segment on the show today? I have 2 guest requests from regular viewers, and I'm thinking maybe they've got Halloween costumes to share or a question or something, and I trust them farther than I could throw them. So how do you feel about me bringing a couple friends up to round out the show?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Let's see if they're still here. Everybody on podcast land, in Facebook land, and YouTube land, you won't see them, but please welcome to the stage our friends Exit Velo and Cosmic Popovich. Welcome, my friends, to the Rise Up Morning Show. How are you today?
I'm well.
Wow, what an honor to be. Yeah, an honor to be let up. I think I asked to join. I'm mostly a listener, but I listen. I enjoy your guys' content, so I'm gonna sit back here and just say thank you to you guys. You benefit me every single day, and yeah, I'm actually I'll reveal something. I am in law enforcement, so I don't often get up on these lives. So mostly a listener.
Well, thank you for risking for the biscuit, not just on this live, but every day in your community. We really appreciate you, Exit Velo. I'll go ahead and mute you and let you just sit back and reap the rewards of being on the big stage. Thank you, man.
Thank you all. Thank you.
And Cosmic Popovich, what an interesting Halloween costume. How are you, my friend?
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here.
How are things on that side of the family?
It's really good. It's really, 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 really well. Very well.
Man, I'm glad to hear it. Do you have Halloween plans?
Yeah, just trick-or-treating with the family. That's it.
That sounds good. And if you had one message for the people listening to the Rise Up Morning Show, what would it be?
These are really good guys to follow. Really good guys to follow. Absolutely. A lot of knowledge here. But yes, these are really, really 2 good people. 2 good people up here.
Alex, you got anything you want to say to your cousin from another mother?
Yeah, it's just great to see outside of the reunions.
Thank you.
Thank
You like my name?
Yeah,
oh,
it's great.
2 of my favorite content creators. Oh my God.
Thank you, Cosmo. Can I call you Cosmo? I hear that's what they call you at the reunion.
Sure.
When all the
sure.
Popoviches get together.
Sure.
We appreciate you very
All
much.
6 of us.
All 6 of them. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Cosmic Popovich and Exit Velo. Happy Halloween to you and your family. Thank you very much for making time to say some kind words. And if you have a final thought, a last joke, a word of wisdom, a question, suggestion, or anything else, let us know. The 8 Ball is giving a prediction. Let's see if it's Halloween themed today, because people always want to know. It says, buy Bitcoin. Someone asked me in the comments, they said, Evan, is there anything you're holding on to and not selling after this run? And I said, Bitcoin, possibly some ETH. Are you holding on to any of your stacks, Alex, beyond the season? Is there anything you're going to sell out of 100% or sell out of 0%? Not at all.
100% no, nothing that I have right now that I can think of. Because it's literally just Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and USDC. And I have long-term conviction in all of them, so I'm not gonna sell out of the entire position because you never know.
You do never know, do you?
You never know what's gonna happen. As far as reducing, yeah, not really. No plans to reduce my amount of Bitcoin. Definitely plans to reduce the amount of SOL if we see a significant run up. I've been constantly profit taking every time it moves. Anything above 10%. Price move in a swing, I'll capitalize on it at least a little bit.
And do you have a final thought for the audience before you go raid a well-to-do ship or bury your treasure? And yes, I go back to the moon.
Till you, yeah, keep till you go invest in a new telescope looking for that pesky moon, that elusive celestial body.
The moon is a state of mind, Alex.
You know what? That's it.
I am there.
That's it. That's it right there. Nope. It was a great week. I appreciate everyone for hanging out. Thanks again to, of course, our friends and partners of the show, Arrrrculus and Polygon, for helping us do all of this, because it's getting increasingly difficult to do it without partners. So I'm pretty stoked about it, and I'm excited to share the next two next week.
Beautifully said. Yahar.
Oh, Arrrrculus did pop in and say that I'm Captain Arrrrculus. I was like, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Captain Arrrrculus and AleXRP, thanking you for being the very best part of what we do. May your days be full of candy, fun, the occasional friendly fright. And when we're back Monday, we can't wait to hear all about it. If you're in the community, you can come to the after show. That is community.rumshq.com. We're going to get it started in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to check in with Tori quickly, and then we'll be right over there. It'll be a quick one today because I got to go teach a little class, but we would love to see you there. It's totally free to join. It's quick and painless to sign up for, and that is the best way to get in touch with us. If you have a question, don't DM us. Don't respond if someone who looks like us DMs you. We will never, ever do it. The best way is to connect with us at community.rumshq.com. Also, shout out to the White Whale. I think Alex was listing some of our sponsors, and we want to say a guy who's in costume all the time. How does he do it? I don't know. And 2 more partnership announcements coming soon next week, but you'll have to tune in to see it. Until then, my friends, everybody, stay safe, be well, rise up.